Hey guys, what's up? Dax here. Today we are here with another episode of F1 2014 Career Mode, and today we are here in Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a track, if you've watched my career modes in the past, I've never been particularly good at, but one, I don't really mind driving. I don't particularly really enjoy driving it, but I don't really hate driving it. But here we are, here in qualifying, and we're doing the one qualifying session once again. And I think I'll be going back to 3 qualifying sessions for the rest of the season. But as I said, it's just the tracks that I'm not so quick on. I normally just do one session to get the recording done quicker. But down through turn 1 and turn 2, not that great whatsoever. A little bit slow, to be perfectly honest. It's really a little bit all over the place in this track, and I can't seem to get the setup right. And overall for me, this just wasn't the greatest of qualifying laps here, and you're going to see it in the times. Obviously, we've already done a lap time, which is quickest, well, 21st quickest, so that's not too good. And look at this, you can tell on our fastest lap, if we made a mistake like that, that this lap isn't going to be too good. Through sector 1, we are 1.3 seconds down on Lewis Hamilton and 1.6 seconds up on our fastest time, so this is definitely going to be an improvement on our best time, but is it going to be good enough to really get us anywhere near a top 10? But going into the hairpin here that Kamui Kobayashi has been so famous at in the past, diving up the inside and getting some really great manoeuvres done. Sadly for me, not really the quickest part of the track for me either. There isn't really a part on this track where I'm ever sort of 100%, which is annoying because you know you can master this track with a lot of effort, but for me, I've never been able to master it, and I've always sort of been a bit like all over the place and way outside the normal places for me on this track, and I'm not really too sure why. We didn't have a setup for this track. I forgot to go and get a setup, so we're just on standard setup, so that's probably a part of it, because this track you do need a good setup. And you can see through that middle sector we've lost, what, nearly 2 seconds, or is it over 2 seconds? No, just under 2 seconds in that middle sector, so terrible middle sector there. Final couple of turns here. What sort of time is it going to be as we cross the start finish line? Well, it's not going to be good. It's going to be a 1:42.356, which ends up being 20th place on the grid. No, you're not imagining that. That's really how bad I am at this track. So basically, I'm starting 20th. You've got all of the caterums and rushes around me here. So off the start line, a decent start there. We're going to try and get past Kobayashi as quickly as possible here, and Bianchi. Obviously, get out the slower cars out the way as quickly as possible. Be good. Maldonado, Gutierrez, Kvyat, all battling away in front of me here. I've got to try and find a gap here. This is a little bit of a gap here. We managed to squeeze through the gap between Maldonado and I think that's Kvyat there. And Kvyat, even though we're on the inside, doesn't really want to give us any space, so we let him have that position. We don't want to be fighting all over the place. And this car, it's just got no grip. It's just horrible to drive, but that's just something I'm going to have to overcome through this series and next season as well. I've got to overcome the car and really just sort of learn to adapt myself how to the car is, not adapt my, adapt the car to how I am. That's good. I'm going to have to be adaptable, whatever, in this career mode, and especially if we go to a top 10, I can't be, affording to qualify that far down. McLaren's performance in real life has been a bit up and down as well. It's not been quite as bad as 20th place in qualifying, but it's just how it is. I mean, if we had a Mercedes, I'm sure we'd be at least 10th place on the grid, but just, yet again, just not having the commitment through these corners is just a bit frustrating for me. When you know that you can get a lot more out of the car, but you just don't know how to find it, that's the most frustrating thing for me. Trying to go side by side with Kvyat, a bit of grass, but we do manage to get past him there. I don't know, slightly edge him out there, but we managed to get through there up into P15, and that is good for me. That's got me up into a more credible position there in 15th. 20th would be just embarrassing if I finished there. 15th, maybe not too embarrassing, but here we are. It's the most weirdest thing I've happened in this Grand Prix. Hamilton just pulls out in front of me. I mean, how can you be so stupid to just pull out in front of a car in the middle of a track? Hamilton should have just waited there at least for a couple of cars to go past. I mean, there's a queue, then there's a gap, so I think that was a bit stupid from Hamilton there to just pull out in the middle of the track whilst I was coming around the corner. I had to jam on the brakes, and it lost me a lot of time as well. I was starting to close on the cars in front, but that sort of incident there with Hamilton definitely lost me some time. And I can see he's a lot faster, so he could have easily got past us all here, but it's just a bit silly from Hamilton there to pull out in the middle of a live race when he'd made a mistake and gone off the track. So that's a bit silly from him. And as I said, we were catching up to the back of, I think that was Grosjean there in the Lotus, who's in 13th. We were catching up to the back of him there, but that mistake there from Hamilton, and it's just a bit, spiraled into a bad moment for us, which means we're losing more and more time here. I've got Maldonado slowly closing up onto the back of us here, and hopefully for us, we're just going to get around these last couple of corners here, and hopefully he's getting a bit of time on here on Grosjean, but Yeah, we've done not too bad through this middle sector there. We've actually sort of kept the gap to Hamilton, which is somewhat credible considering how much of a bad lap we've had in qualifying and this race so far. But for us, you can see we've only lost 3 attempts through that middle sector, which isn't too bad whatsoever. And hopefully it means we're actually going to be closing up to the back of Grosjean here. And Grosjean's gone off the track, and we're distracted by that, so we go off the track as well. We get a corner cut. Not too sure what Grosjean's doing off the track. He sort of stopped as well, so for us that was a bit strange. But you can see the gap that the guys have pulled in front of us. Master, I think, went off the track as well, so he dropped down the field as well. I think there's a glitch, and I'm going to show you guys later what I mean in terms of this glitch. And this is my pit lap here, and I get a bit all over the place on the curbs, and basically both the Lotuses managed to go through there and get the positions, which is a bit embarrassing. But we're going to try and move around here on the outside of Grosjean, and I think I literally just kept a tiny bit of the tyre on the white line, so I think that was a bit of a legitimate overtake. Then getting past Maldonado there, going through into the pits here. So this has just been a really weird first stint for me here. I'm like all over the place, like what am I going to do here? What can I do to get anywhere near the points? But I'm in slow fuel mixture here through the pit lane as always, guys. Obviously you guys know that I do that just to save that tiny bit of fuel. I might need it towards the end of the race, so I might as well just save it here through the pit lane when you're limited to a certain speed. So cars will be going past. I think we're going to have the Caterhams going through there. We've got Ericsson and Kobayashi going past us there, and Grosjean obviously coming out the pits behind us, so that's good for us. Even though they had a better pit bait, we means that we still get out in front of them. That's good. So 19th place, yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Finishing in 19th place. I'm sure McLaren would be really happy with me if I finished there. But let's not just say that. Let's just get to lap 8 here, and we're going to get up to 15th place here. And I think we're going to have some Caterhams pitting in front of us. Yes, I think both Caterhams are pitting, or at least the Caterham, and I think it's a Sauber. I could be wrong. I think it might be Suttel. Yeah, Suttel's in the pit lane as well. So Suttel and Ericsson going into the pit lane, and we're up to 13th place, and Verne is the car in front of us. You can see there's a massive gap. So that's not good. Now lap number 11, we're going to have some attack here from Grosjean. We've got grass and rubbish all over our tyres here. We're trying to defend from Grosjean, but the car just won't steer in. And Grosjean, of all people in that car, has managed to get back past us here. And we're going to have to hope that our Mercedes power is going to be good enough to get us past in a straight line here. But Grosjean has just been very good in this race. He's been putting in consistent times, and 13th place wouldn't be too bad there for Grosjean in that Lotus, which obviously is down on power, down on downforce, pretty much just down on everything. That Lotus this year has been pretty terrible. And you can see my teammate on the minimap there is just so far in front of me, and it's just been a bad race. I mean, what can I do? It's a bad race. I've got to get over it, got to learn from the errors and mistakes that I made in this Grand Prix, and hopefully learn for it in the Russian Grand Prix next time out. And this is a part of the track which I think I'm actually pretty good at. Final sector through 130R. I put a lot of commitment through that corner, and here you can see that I think it's the saving, that red flashing light you guys told me in the comment section. That's the saving, and Grosjean, I think whilst saving is quite slow in a straight line, so we managed to go around the outside of him there. A really nice move around the outside there of Grosjean, and managed to get back up to 13th place. Then, guess what? Same couple of corners as it was the lap before. Grosjean managed to get back past us once again. I guess we're really just slow through there. We try and get back past Grosjean here, and the car is just scrambling all over the place here. Grosjean sort of brakes really heavily there on the apex of the corner, so that was a bit annoying because it meant we lost a bit of time there. But let's be honest, guys, we're not going to be catching up to Verne in 12th place here, so this is just going to be it. 13th is going to be our best result here in this race, and let's just be honest, we need to try and not do anything silly here. Oh, we've got a retirement from the race here, down to 21 cars. Where is that retirement going to be? I think, if I remember correctly, it's Sergio Perez. We're looking up all over the place and actually losing a gap to Grosjean here. Like, rich fuel mixture, got to use it. Got to give ourselves a little bit of a chance here to get past Grosjean. And you can see there Perez on the timing very quickly there. You saw it briefly. So Perez retired on that part of the track there, and we managed to get up to 13th place. So 13th won't be the best result we can get here. 12th place would be the best result we can get here. So I think that's the result that Button got in real life in America, so United States. So 12th wouldn't be too bad whatsoever. I think that would be a very good comeback from 20th place on the grid. 12th wouldn't be too bad. We're very slow, but you know, keeping the cars behind us and everything wouldn't be too bad whatsoever. A bit sideways through those final couple of corners, hoping to get the DRS, and obviously the Mercedes power in a straight line will help us anyway. But DRS is activated here on the final lap of the race. Are we going to be able to manage to get past Grosjean here? We're down the inside into turn 1. Grosjean goes wide, and this is exactly what I mean. He goes wide, he goes off the track, he's very slow. And I think that's what happened to Hamilton. He just went off the track, then just rejoined. And I think that's what it means. So if you go side by side into turn 1, the guy that's on the outside, if it's an AI, will just go off the track and lose some time. So that's, I think, maybe a glitch. I don't know. Maybe it's programmed into the game. But it happened to about 4 or 5 cars during this race that they went off the track there and lost a lot of time. So I'm not too sure whether it's a glitch or whether it's just programmed well. But there we are then, guys. That's 12th place. Oh, great. My teammate in 4th and my rival in 3rd. So pretty much everything just went against me in that race there, and it means that I've got a bad result. And yeah, so bad lap times there. I think I'm about 2 or 3 seconds off my teammate when we scroll up in a second here. But overall, guys, a bad weekend, one to forget. But what can you do? You can't win all of them. You can't get great results in all of them. You just got to move on and hope that we can get back on track and hopefully overtake Alonso in the standings in the next couple of races. You can see there Perez retired there. And there's my teammate Button, and if scroll up a little bit more, you can see Alonso and Rosberg won that race, which I think makes his championship lead a little bit bigger. Yep, it's up to 31 points now, and I think mathematically I can still win the championship. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I can, maybe I can't, I don't know. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in once again. I appreciate it so much, and sure to tune in next time for Russia, which should be a lot better for me. Goodbye.